Hi, I'm Sarah Benincasa. I am the Vice President of Human Resources with SP Data Digital. Over the past 5 or 6 years, our company has been working diligently at creating a unique recruitment process that is really geared towards candidate flexibility and really putting kind of the control back into the candidate's hands versus the talent acquisition department's hands. This was originally, kind of came about based on our CEO really challenging us on being different in the market and ensuring that we didn't leave any candidate behind. It's very different from your traditional recruitment process. So in a traditional model, you would put up a job posting, you would have candidates apply. The hiring was very subjective versus using any data or science as to why people were moving forward in the process. It left us open to unconscious biases as well as a low contact rate. So when we first started looking at our recruitment process, we used 100 candidates and we kind of followed their journey throughout the process and realized that out of that 100 candidates, we were only successfully contacting about 20 of those, and we were only hiring 3 or 4. So we had a very low contact rate. We were essentially ghosting about 80% of our candidates, and therefore leaving a really poor candidate experience. So we deconstructed the entire recruitment process. We leveraged artificial intelligence, machine learning, chatbots, as well as assessments to determine suitability of hire, but also allow our candidates to move as quickly through the recruitment process as they wanted. So removing all the friction points and removing the recruiters dictating how fast the candidates can go through the process. So we've been able to reduce our time to hire. So we were averaging about 25 days. We're now averaging 12. And out of that same 100 candidates, with our new platform and our artificial intelligence engine, we are now able to get in contact with all 100 of those candidates, successfully communicate with 80% of them, and hire 20 to 22. So we've seen a significant improvement in not only our time to hire, but also our ability to scale and grow. So I'd like to kind of walk through the platform and in real time kind of show how we put our candidates through our entire recruitment process. All right, so this is our applicant tracking system. So our artificial intelligence it's housed on the back of our applicant tracking system, and it works by profiling candidates. So we take all of our top performers and their profiles, and we start to feed the information into our artificial intelligence machine. And we're able to then grade our candidates, letter grades A through F, based on how they match a top performer. So the whole artificial intelligence engine is really predicated on our top performers and how they do in assessments, as well as answer chatbot questions. And so our goal is to go out into the market and essentially duplicate our top performers over and over and over again. Our recruitment team can now come in, and instead of going from a top-down recruitment approach in terms of working through the applicant tracking system, they're able to very quickly sort through, and they can sort through having all of our F candidates come first, or our A and B candidates. So just like a report card, our A and B candidates are those candidates who, based on our top performers, these candidates are closely going to match those top performers. And so this is very different. The algorithm that's created for each role is different based on just that, the role, as well as the demographic in which we're hiring for. Our team is able to then dig a little deeper as to each candidate and why they are graded the grade that they have been given. In this example, this candidate is graded a B, and it's based on work history, skills, job title, assessments, as well as the chatbot. We have the ability to look into some insights as well too. So our machine and our artificial intelligence is going to provide us some insights into each category and the letter grade that has been associated with that category. It's going to be very different based on each candidate, so it's not repetitive, and it's going to bring in things like their relevant experience, the skills, any additional experience that the candidate may have, and how adaptable the candidate is for the position. As we scroll down, we can see some of the work history here, as well as the education. We have a summary of their total years of experience as well as their average tenure with a company. That's really important as we're looking at retention. And we can see the chatbot. So in our platform, we no longer pick up the phone to call a candidate. So we've eliminated that as part of our process. When we looked at our contact rate and our time to hire, both were severely impacted by that traditional phone interview. Nowadays, people simply don't want to pick up their phones, or they won't pick up for a number that they don't know. So we've replaced that with our chatbot, and our chatbot is completely customizable. It works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And it allows us to have a recruitment shop that is never closed. So we have moved from a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 recruitment shop to one that is constantly open, constantly recruiting. And that's really important, especially as, we have this war on talent, and all of our companies are trying to get the best talent in the door. So connecting with candidates right away upon application is key and critical. Our chatbot allows us to do that. So within seconds of a candidate applying for the role, our chatbot is going to be deployed to their mobile device, and it's going to engage with them in a conversation. Again, completely customizable. So based on the role and the demographic in which we're recruiting, we can change up the questions. Our team has the ability to see the questions that are populated here and all of the answers that the candidate provided. So this is going to ask things like, are you eligible to work the hours of operation? Do you have any vacation coming up? Are you eligible to work in the country in which you're applying? So really important, but again, eliminates that need for that phone interview and kind of that phone tag that gets played a lot in that traditional model. Next, the candidate will move on to a series of assessments. So we have 2 assessments that we deploy, a psychometric assessment as well as predictive index. These assessments just give us a little bit of insight into the candidate and again, match against a top performer. So all of our top performers have gone through the assessment, and what we're looking to do is match the results of the assessments with those of our top performers. So in the green here, this is our psychometric assessment. This is where the top performers would have scored, and the arrow is where our candidate has scored. And so we want to closely match them. We use a stoplight function for telling us whether or not they can proceed. So green means go. And in this scenario, this candidate has been recommended for both sales and service. We also check for the reliability of results. So down at the bottom, we want to make sure that the results are honest and that the candidate is giving answers that are accurate and not just based on socially acceptable responses and kind of what we want to hear. Next, they'll move on to predictive index. So this gives us a little bit more insight into the behaviors and a behavior summary of the candidate, again, based on top performers. So we take our top performers, and we usually have about 2 or 3 profile types of our top performer base, and we want to match our candidates with those profile types. Wilma here, she's a persuader, so risk-taking, socially poised, and a motivating team builder. She matches a 9 out of 10 for job match score. So we're looking for 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 for this, for any kind of particular role. We can look at, how she's going to show up at work and how she best would be managed. So this is important as we're providing our managers with their new hires. We want to make sure that we're maximizing effectiveness, productivity, and job satisfaction for each candidate. So we strongly encourage our managers to take a look at the results of the predictive index and really kind of get to know their new hires before they start. That helps with longevity for employment and decreases the chance that that candidate's going to turn over. So once the candidate moves through each stage in this process, their letter grade that they were initially given is going to continue to update as they move through the entire process. So our team can go in at any time, and as they're looking at the requisition, it's going to be changing as the candidates move through. The key here is that the candidate gets to move through this process at their own speed. So the chatbot that initially interviews the candidate is also going to provide them with the links to complete the assessments. So they can complete it at their own time, whether they're on the go, sitting at home, it doesn't really matter. They have the ability to go through and complete everything. And then once they complete all of the assessments, our A and B candidates are automatically given a link to our recruiters' calendars, and they're able to plug in the day and time that work best for them to meet with our team. So again, all of this is automated. It can happen within 15 minutes of initial application, and it allows them to, really own the process of their candidate experience. And so they'll populate that calendar for themselves based on their availability, and then meet with our team. So this allows us to really, recruit quickly, engage with candidates right away, and not kind of wait until our recruitment team is back in the office, and allows us to have that recruitment shop that never closes.